Hey everyone, it's Priyanka. Before we dive deep today, I just want to remind you of something really powerful. We often chase these big milestones, thinking that's when we'll finally feel proud, finally feel enough. But the truth is, love isn't built in giant leaps, it's built moment by moment. It's about honoring every little step, every small victory along the way. Today, I want to talk about why it's so important to celebrate every little win because you are worth celebrating every single day. Let's get into it. One of the most powerful things you will ever do in your life is believe in your own uniqueness. And I'm not just throwing around inspirational words, I mean it deeply. There is, quite literally, only one you. Out of billions of people on this planet, no one else has your exact combination of experiences, dreams, scars, talents, and quirks. No one else laughs quite like you do, thinks quite like you do, or dreams quite like you do. Isn't that amazing? But somewhere along the way, the world tries to convince us that we have to fit into neat little boxes, that we have to sound a certain way, look a certain way, live a certain way just to be enough. And if you spend your whole life trying to be a copy of someone else, you rob the world of something truly magical, the real you. When I first started out, especially as a young woman in a global industry, I felt that pressure. People wanted to tell me who I should be, what I should wear, how I should speak, what I should want. But here's the thing, every time I tried to fit into someone else's mold, I felt smaller, duller, lost. It was only when I said no, thank you, to all those opinions and said yes to myself that everything changed. Believing in your uniqueness doesn't mean you think you're perfect, it means you know you're irreplaceable. It's about owning every part of yourself, the messy parts, the brilliant parts, the parts you're still figuring out. It's about realizing that your journey is supposed to look different from anyone else's, because your destination is uniquely yours. And here's a secret, the very things that make you different, the things you might feel conscious about, those are usually your superpowers. Maybe you speak differently, maybe you think bigger. Maybe you dare to dream in colors no one else even sees. Good. Don't shrink that, amplify it. The world doesn't need more replicas, it needs originals. It needs voices that are brave enough to sound like themselves. It needs thinkers who aren't afraid to challenge norms. It needs dreamers who believe that standing out is better than blending in. So the next time you feel the urge to compare yourself, remember, no one else can be you. They can try, but they'll only ever be a second-rate version. Meanwhile, you have the chance to be a first-rate, one-of-a-kind masterpiece. You were designed to be different. You were born to be extraordinary. Don't waste that miracle trying to be ordinary. Believe in your uniqueness, stand tall in it, speak from it, create from it, love from it, because when you do, you not only become your best self, you give others permission to do the same. And that, my friends, is how you change the world. We live in a world that is obsessed with big moments. We celebrate the grand gestures, the overnight success stories, the huge, flashy wins. And don't get me wrong, those moments are beautiful. But let me tell you a secret I've learned over and over again. It's not the big moments that build your dreams. It's the tiny, invisible ones. It's what you do every single day that shapes your future. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Anyone can be intense for a day. Anyone can show up and give 200% when they're excited, when they're motivated, when everything's going right. But champions, true champions, show up even on the days they don't feel like it. When it's boring, when it's hard, when no one's clapping for them, that's where greatness is born. When I think about my own journey from winning Miss World, to building a career in Bollywood, to making my way in Hollywood, it wasn't about one big break. It was about relentless, stubborn, boring consistency. It was the auditions I went to when I had already heard 100 no's. It was the hours of prep, the early mornings, the late nights, the 1,000 times I practiced even when no one was watching. It's sexy to talk about hustle and grind, but real consistency isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's just showing up to the gym when you'd rather stay in bed. It's writing one more email. It's practicing your craft when no one is handing you a trophy. It's doing the work without asking for applause. And here's the magic part. When you keep showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, you create momentum. You train your mind to trust you. You build habits that make success inevitable. Your small, consistent efforts compound into something massive over time. Think about it. One workout won't change your body. One healthy meal won't transform your life. But doing it again and again and again, that's what moves mountains. That's how you become unstoppable. It's not about being perfect every day. It's about being committed every day. It's about deciding that your dreams are worth the effort, even when the initial excitement fades, even when motivation disappears. Because discipline will take you places that motivation can't. So if today feels small, if today feels ordinary, remember, every step you take is adding up. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Show up for yourself, especially on the days it's hardest, especially when no one's watching. Because those are the days that define you. Those are the days when you're not just working on your goals, you're working on your character. And in the end, character always wins. Be consistent, be relentless. Be patient, show up, every single day. Your future self will thank you. If there's one thing life has taught me again and again, it's this. Real growth never happens inside your comfort zone. Never. Everything you dream about, everything you want to become, all the versions of you that you haven't met yet, they are waiting for you outside that safe little bubble. And stepping outside, that takes courage. It's so easy to stay comfortable. It's so easy to keep doing what you know, to stay where it's familiar, where it's safe. But comfort zones, as cozy as they feel, are also cages. They keep you small. They convince you that good enough is enough. They trick you into thinking that playing it safe is the smart choice. But let me tell you something from my heart. Playing it safe never made history. Playing it safe never created magic. Choosing courage means you dare to be uncomfortable. It means you walk into rooms where you might be the least experienced, the least known, the most different. It means you say yes to opportunities that scare you, because deep down you know they're stretching you into something bigger. When I left everything familiar in India and moved to Hollywood to start over, trust me, it wasn't comfortable. I was terrified. New culture, new industry, new expectations. It felt like I was learning to walk all over again. But every scary audition, every uncertain meeting, every moment where I doubted myself, that's where I grew the most. Not when things were easy, not when I was winning, but when I was scared and showed up anyway. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you feel the fear and you do it anyway. It means betting on yourself when you have every reason to stay hidden. It means chasing your dreams even when the path is foggy, even when there's no guarantee of success. And let me tell you, every time you choose courage over comfort, you rewrite the story you tell yourself about who you are. You start believing in your strength, your resilience, your ability to figure it out. You realize, if I could do that, maybe I can do even more. And that, my friend, is how you unlock your limitless potential. So when the easy road calls, when comfort whispers to you to stay put, I want you to remember, growth never happens there. Growth happens when you dare, when you take the risk, when you stand up and speak up, even when your voice shakes. When you try and fall and get back up again. Your dreams are so much bigger than your fears. Your purpose is so much more important than your comfort. Choose courage again and again and again, because that's where your future lies. And trust me, it's so worth it. If there's one word that can completely change your life, it's this tiny, powerful word, no. And I get it, saying no doesn't always feel easy. We are raised to be agreeable, to be liked, to not rock the boat. Especially as women, We're taught that being accommodating is a virtue. But here's what no one tells you every time you say yes to something that drains you, that you don't believe in, or that doesn't align with your purpose. You are saying no to yourself, to your dreams, to your peace, to your energy, and your energy, your peace, they are sacred. They are your fuel. If you don't protect them fiercely, no one else will. Learning to say no is an act of self-respect. It's you drawing a line in the sand and saying, I value my time, I value my energy, I value my own needs. And that's not selfish, that's necessary. I can tell you from experience, the more your world grows, the more opportunities you have. The more people you meet, the more critical it becomes to guard your peace. There will always be demands for your time, your attention, your emotional labor. You have to decide what's worth it and what's not, because not every opportunity is your opportunity. Not every invitation deserves your yes. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying yes to something that does. Yes to rest, yes to creativity, yes to deeper focus, yes to the life you are intentionally building. It's about being deliberate. It's about living on your terms, not on autopilot, not out of obligation. When I first started learning to say no, it felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to disappoint people. I didn't want to be labeled difficult or ungrateful. But over time, I realized that the people who truly value you, the people who see your light, will respect your boundaries, and the ones who don't. They were never in your corner anyway. Protecting your peace doesn't mean you shut everyone out. It means you stop handing out pieces of yourself to everyone who asks. It means you are intentional about where you invest your time, your heart, your energy. Because you are not limitless. You are powerful, yes, but you are also human, and you deserve to be poured into, not just poured out. So give yourself permission to say no unapologetically. No to toxic relationships. No to projects that don't align with your values. No to expectations that suffocate your spirit. Every no you say with love is actually a yes to your highest self. Protect your peace. Guard your energy like the priceless gift it is. Because when your soul is nourished, when your heart is full, when your energy is protected, that's when you are unstoppable. One of the most powerful things you will ever do in your life is to own your story, all of it. Not just the shiny, polished parts you're proud of. Not just the highlight reel you show the world, but everything, the messy parts, the mistakes, the heartbreaks, the chapters you once wished you could erase. Because here's the truth, your story exactly as it is your power. We live in a world that loves perfection. Perfect pictures, perfect lives, perfect success stories, but perfection is an illusion. Real life is messy. Real life is complicated. And the most inspiring people aren't the ones who pretend they have it all together. They're the ones who are brave enough to be real, to be vulnerable. To say, yes, I struggled, yes, I failed, yes, I fell apart and I got back up anyway. Your story is not something to be ashamed of. It's your armor. It's the proof of how far you've come. It's the roadmap of every lesson you had to learn the hard way. It's what makes you relatable, not untouchable. When you hide the messy parts of your journey, you're hiding your strength. When you own them, you turn them into your superpower. I can tell you from my own journey, it's the struggles that taught me who I am. It wasn't the easy wins. It wasn't the moments when everything fell into place. It was the rejections, the doubts, the setbacks that forced me to dig deeper, to grow tougher, to dream bigger, and you know what? Every messy chapter prepared me for what was coming next. Every wrong turn led me closer to the right one. Every heartbreak opened me up to a bigger love for myself and for my life. Owning your story means you stop running from your past. It means you stop apologizing for the lessons you had to learn. It means you look yourself in the mirror and say, all of it made me who I am, and I am proud. There's so much freedom in that, so much strength. Because once you own your story, no one can use it against you. No one can shame you for things you have already accepted about yourself. And even more beautiful, when you own your story, You give permission to everyone around you to own theirs too. You create space for real connection, for real healing, for real inspiration. So don't just tell the parts of your story that sound good. Tell the truth, tell the hard parts, tell the parts where you doubted yourself and still chose to rise. You are not broken because you struggled. You are beautiful because you struggled and you kept going. Own your story, every messy, complicated, breathtaking bit of it, because that's where your true power lies. And the world deserves to hear all of it. If there's one trait I absolutely swear by, it's curiosity. Curiosity is the engine that drives everything: your growth, your creativity, your resilience. It's that fire inside you that asks, what if? Why not? What's next? And honestly, it's the secret sauce to living a life that's rich, full, and always evolving. The day you stop being curious is the day you start getting stuck. It's the day you start living the same year over and over again instead of building a life that constantly surprises and excites you. Curiosity keeps you alive. It keeps you young, not just in your body, but in your spirit, because when you stay curious, you're always learning, you're always growing. You're not afraid to admit you don't know everything. You're not afraid to ask questions, to explore, to reinvent yourself over and over again. When I think about my own journey from winning Miss World, to building my career in Bollywood, to stepping into Hollywood, to becoming a producer, a writer, and a mother, every leap I made started with curiosity. Curiosity about what was possible. Curiosity about what else I could do, who else I could become. It's easy to think that learning stops once you get a degree, or land your dream job, or reach a milestone. But true leaders, true dreamers, they know learning is a lifelong game. The world is changing every single day. New ideas, new perspectives, new challenges. If you want to keep growing, you have to stay curious enough to keep asking, what else can I learn? How else can I evolve? What new dreams can I dream? And let's talk about dreams for a second, because curiosity and dreaming go hand in hand. When you stay curious, you stay open. Open to new possibilities, new paths, new adventures. You don't limit yourself to the dreams you had at 18 or 25. You allow yourself to dream bigger, wilder, different dreams as you grow. You allow yourself to evolve, and that evolution is beautiful. Never let the world tell you that you're too old, too late, or too anything to keep learning, to keep evolving, to keep dreaming. Your dreams don't have an expiration date. Your potential doesn't come with a limit. Stay curious about the world. Stay curious about other people. Stay curious about yourself. You are a masterpiece and a work in progress all at once, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be, so keep learning. Keep questioning, keep dreaming, no matter how many times you've had to start over. Because curiosity isn't just a trait. It's a way of living. It's a commitment to never settling. It's a promise you make to yourself. I will never stop becoming more of who I am meant to be. Stay curious and watch the magic unfold. You know, life is way too short, and your dreams are way too big to be weighed down by negativity. One of the most important choices you will ever make is who you allow into your energy space. Because the people you surround yourself with, they either lift you higher or pull you down. There's rarely any middle ground. Your circle matters. Your environment matters. The energy around you, it matters. And if you're serious about becoming your best self, you have to be intentional about choosing people who reflect the light you want to live in. I've learned this over and over again in my journey. In every phase of life, whether it was navigating the pressures of beauty pageants, breaking into the film industry, or moving across continents to chase my dreams, my tribe made all the difference. The people who celebrated my wins, yes, but even more importantly, the ones who believed in me when no one else did. The ones who reminded me who I was when I forgot. The ones who challenged me to dream bigger, think deeper, work harder. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, not intimidate you. People who fan your flames, not extinguish them. People who see your potential even when you're still figuring it out yourself. And let me say this, it's okay if that means your circle gets smaller. It's okay if you have to walk away from people who drain you, doubt you, or disrespect your growth. Protecting your peace, your dreams, your energy, that's not selfish. That's survival. That's wisdom. Because when you're building a life that matters, you need people around you who believe in magic, not just reality. People who remind you of your why when the how feels overwhelming. People who call you out with love when you're playing small. People who hold you accountable to the highest version of yourself. And it's not just about what you receive, it's also about what you give. Be that energy too. Be the person who lifts others, who cheers loudly, who believes fiercely, because the energy you put out comes back to you tenfold. Create an environment where greatness is the standard, where dreams are protected, where love and respect are non-negotiable. At the end of the day, we become like the people we spend the most time with. Their habits, their mindset, their attitudes, they rub off on us. So ask yourself, does my circle challenge me to be better? Does it feed my soul or drain it? Does it lift me higher or hold me back? Choose wisely. Surround yourself with energy that lifts you, stretches you, inspires you. Build a tribe that reflects the life you are building. Because with the right people around you, there's no limit to how high you can soar. Remember, you are worthy of a life filled with love, light, and unstoppable energy. Protect that with everything you have. If there's one lesson that has changed the way I look at success and at myself, it's this. Every little win matters. Every step forward, every small victory, every quiet moment where you chose yourself, they all count. They are the building blocks of self-love, confidence, and true fulfillment. We often think that celebration is reserved for the big milestones, landing the dream job, winning the award, reaching the top. But life isn't just made up of those grand moments. It's made up of thousands of tiny ones, the ones no one sees, but that shape who you become. It's waking up on a hard day and choosing to show up anyway. It's saying no to something that doesn't align with your values. It's pushing through the fear and sending that email, making that call, taking that first step. That deserves celebration. Because every time you recognize your effort, your growth, your courage, you are reinforcing the most important belief you'll ever hold. I am proud of who I am becoming. When you wait to celebrate only the big wins, you miss out on the magic happening every single day. You miss out on the joy of becoming. You miss out on the relationship you are constantly building with yourself. Love isn't built in one grand, sweeping moment. It's built moment by moment, choice by choice, celebration by celebration. It's built when you honor the journey, not just the destination. When I look back at my own journey from my early days figuring out who I was, to standing on some of the biggest stages in the world, the moments that truly mattered were often the ones no one else even knew about. The auditions I didn't get but learned from, the nights I stayed up working on my craft, the mornings I got up even when doubt felt heavier than hope, and when I learned to celebrate those moments, everything changed. I didn't have to wait for external validation to feel proud. I didn't have to wait for the world's applause to clap for myself. Celebrating your small wins creates momentum. It reminds you that you are making progress even if it's not loud or flashy. It keeps you motivated, it builds resilience, and most importantly, it deepens your love and respect for yourself. So today, I want you to celebrate yourself. Celebrate the email you finally sent. Celebrate the work you didn't feel like doing but did anyway. Celebrate the boundary you set, the fear you faced, the dream you dared to whisper. Nothing is too small to honor, because every little win is a promise kept to yourself. And every time you keep that promise, yourself, love grows stronger, deeper, unshakable. So clap for yourself. Dance a little. Smile a lot. Because you, my friend, are doing amazing things, one beautiful moment at a time. And that deserves to be celebrated. Always.